Allister. Mr. Curry. Mrs. Gandy.
We have scheduled invoices, item A, $1,041,618.96. You got your copy of invoices to be paid in the mail. Item B, we have a payment to David L. Roach totaling $2,977.60 as reimbursement for the cost of the new Lincoln County High School sign. And if you have any questions on those? And I did give you guys a couple handouts. Preliminary comps have been emailed to us. And so we actually won't get our final comps until probably April. So we'll be budgeting off the preliminary comps. Also, give you the handout as to how preliminary comps are arrived at, all the details that go into coming up with the formula numbers. And I also did a revision to the little chart that I gave you guys at our workshop. There was a change in the FTE, which bumped us up a few percentage points on the number of employees funded. But this now does match our preliminary comps. It's this one, Steve.
So,
Yeah, that's,
your first
That's
statement
preliminary
you
costs.
made, that these will be the ones that will,
Work.
is that what you said there?
yeah, we'll budget off of those until the final comps come out in April.
Oh, okay.
But we'll use this as our working tool.
So they don't have much choice, do they?
Don't have no choice. That's what we have. And then this, our little chart, the little quick and easy chart, that matches our preliminary comps. And we
Yes.
went over that in our workshop.
Right, so we'll be able to see how many employees were over the morning and all that.
Yeah, after Ms. Lucas and Mr. Mitchell finish up with personnel, then I'll come back and I'll say, okay, here's what's gonna happen next year. This is what happens if we do nothing. This sheet here is where we're at if we do absolutely nothing at all. And then we'll update it to, here's what we're gonna budget for.
Mrs. Lucas, Mr. Midkiff can advise us
Yes.
and lead us through that first. Okay, good. Chris, could you explain to us item B, please, Mr. Wright?
Yes. Of course, going way back, there was a sign, the first sign that was constructed, and the lettering on that sign, as you drive by, you know, you would have to stop really to read what's on the sign. And I think everyone was in agreement that we needed a new sign that would be able to be seen by all passerbys, that was Lincoln County High School, and that there is two other entities there, which is Southern Community College and the primary care facility. And that was kind of one of those situations that Mr. Roach wanted to see through to the end before he left, something that was presentable as far as being legible to everyone. And at the time, there had been commitments made to Mr. Roach of donations, of everything being donated, and it would be constructed free. Well, when the sign was completed, I think there were probably some commitments that were not honored as far as making sure that the sign was, everything was donated. And Mr. Roach was kind enough, I guess, to pay out of his own pocket this dollar amount. And I just felt that was not something that should have occurred, because he did this in good faith, that everyone was going to honor their word as far as donating. Of course, we submitted requests to the other two entities that are housed in Lincoln County High School for some monetary reimbursement kind of for their names being on the sign. Southern Community College, we did receive a $10,000 check from them. And I felt out of that that we should be reimbursing Mr. Roach for the amount that he had paid.
Now, do we have invoices to support this amount?
We do, yes, we do. Those have been submitted.
So there's been no donation from the other entity?
Not at this time.
I thought Southern Community College sent us.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
10,000, but not the other.
No, it's, and again, this, you know, I'm just putting on my citizen's hat here. I understand from the Hamlin Town Council meeting on Monday night that the school provided $1,000 for the recent police car, and from what I'm told, Primary Care gave $700 donation for a police car that was bought before Christmas. Now that's a fight that the council is having, that I'll have in next week's paper, but it transpired at the meeting that there was 1,000 from the school and 700 from Primary Care. So my question would be, and my question is to Primary Care, I guess, if they're paying 700 for a police cruiser, why aren't they paying you guys for a sign?
As you said, that would be professional. I can't answer that.
Okay.
But I see where you need to clarify that,
Okay.
because we don't want it wrong in the paper for sure.
But we have not received anything.
Well, the recorder at the meeting the other night had a check from the school for the 1,000. Because I clarified, she was saying it was from the Board of Education. I said, well, is it from the board or from the school? She said the check was from the school for a, I guess the town agreed to buy a cruiser for $6,650 at the December 7th meeting or whatever. And it is purchased and is being used, but I just felt you guys should be aware of that.
Thank you. We appreciate that, John. And, you know, we didn't feel comfortable back when we had the old sign, but, you know, it just wasn't the quality that you felt comfortable asking anybody to donate towards, but with
We
the new
were
sign.
embarrassed is what it was.
Yeah. With the new sign, though, we don't have
Yes.
any qualms about asking for some assistance. So hopefully between all of us, we'll get some. But Mr. Roach, as Ms. Lucas has pointed out here, wanted that to occur. He went ahead and paid his invoices for what was done. And I don't even think this was his idea to be reimbursed. I believe that came from some other ladies whose names I won't mention. Okay, if there aren't any other questions in the finance area, I'll call for question then. All those in favor of the finance?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay, it'll be an all yes vote. Okay. Then we go to personnel. Motion.
I'll move.
Curry. I need a second. McCoskey.
Okay. Personnel.
Let's let them part. Anybody else want to escape while you can? You can go anywhere. Okay.
Section A, employment of short or a long-term substitute professional personnel. Section B, employment of extracurricular personnel. Section C, leave of absence. Section D, resignations and/or retirements, and you will see which it is under the effective date at the end of each person. Section E, employment of substitute service personnel. And to correct the minutes of October the 29th, 2012, a transfer of service personnel, Debbie Mead from Hamlin Pre-K 8 Special Education Aid 3 to Guyan Valley Middle School Special Education Aid 3 to be effective 2013-14 school year. And on October the 29th, we had it being effective on November the 1st, 2012. And that's because she due to working with a particular student, and the law didn't allow it to move, so we wanted to make that correction.
Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments about the personnel schedule?
Mr. President, I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
abstain from voting.
You are going to abstain from voting on all the items? Call for question, then you just state that again. Okay, if there's nothing further then, I'll call for question. All those in favor of the
Mr. President, I'm going to abstain also from a particular part.
Just from a certain part? Or all
Yeah,
of it?
just from D.
All right, strike in.
So,
That's okay. What I'd like to do first then is ask for, well, a motion to be made for personnel schedule of items A, B, C, and E, and the correction. Could I have a motion to that effect? Gary makes that motion. Is there a
I'll second that.
Terry seconds it. Okay. All in favor of items A, B, C, and E, and the correction, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, Mr. Wilkerson abstained on that. Okay, now, let's go to, what I'd like to ask for now would be a motion for item D of the personnel schedule. Could I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. McAllister made a motion.
I'll second that.
Mr. Curry seconded. All those in favor of item D signify by saying yes.
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 Yes. Ms. Smith abstains, and then number 4 yeses. Are we clear, Mrs. Powell? I'm glad someone did. Okay. All right, so that should take care of all the items on the personnel. Okay. Let's move down then to the comments and concerns. The first item is school security measures. Mrs. Lucas.
Okay, Mr. Adkins is going to raise the screen.
Do it real fast and wait your way up.
There we go.
Of course, with the unfortunate situation that occurred a short time ago with the incident at Sandy Hook Elementary, it made us all sit back and reflect on what we could do in order to make our children as safe as possible. And even though you think you're doing everything you can, sometimes, as we've seen, it's not enough. So I brought the principals together this week, and we had each of them to list what they have, the security that they have increased, what they have done since the incident. Also list some things that they might need some help with from our end, from the central office, in order to make their school safer. Of course, Ms. Powell has made you all a copy, but I wanted you to see firsthand what the principals did, how they, some of them mixed it kind of together as to what they have done and what they want to do. Some separated it. Just looking at one from here that I could read, West Hamlin, Mr. King had sent a memo to the parents. he has stepped up the sign in and out procedure. It's okay. Making sure, more frequently checking the doors, because they're all secure. But making sure throughout the day, he and Mr. Davis's assistant, they've always done this, but he's doing it, as he said, more frequent. Any substitute teacher, any personnel that's in the building that day that is not a regular, they are making sure that they are identified with a particular color sticker, so that someone on one end of the building, when they see this other person, they readily know that this is a visitor, whether they're a substitute teacher, cook, custodian. Is it opening the doors? Mr. McKipp, do you remember exactly what when he was talking about that?
I think that's this one.
I think,
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it is here. Thank you. It's training and educating the students not to open doors. Actually, they've been doing some practice, and I'm going to have Mr. Adkins to talk about his here in a minute, what he's been doing. Teachers can lock their doors, especially those closest to the outside exits. And of course, he's leaving that up to the teachers. But some needs that they identified is to making sure that they have the phone hookups in the modulars. He has requested additional surveillance cameras to be installed. He has them, but get them installed. Common keys for all the classrooms, but this would require new locks and keys. Considering a man trap at the front door, as the people walk in, and you know what that particular school, how it's, you walk into one door and the other, and you maybe fix a man trap there. So that is something that he has talked with his staff about. I think all of the principals have talked with their staff about all of these different things that they have mentioned here. I'm going to let Mr. Adkins, if you would, talk about what you have done at your school and what you would like to see occur.
sure. Again, a man trap at our front door entrance, that's my biggest concern, my first concern that I put on the list. When you come into our front doors, you have full access to the building. You come up the steps, you hit a landing, you come around the hall to go to the main office. What I proposed is to close off there's it appears to where there used to be doors maybe at one point in time. However, to close that area off, to put a controlled entrance door there, to cut a service window in the wall so that the secretary could talk to whatever visitors enter the building to see whether they need to access on into the building or if they can take care of the business there at the window instead of having to come straight into the building. Our cafeteria windows are ground level. On the back side where our cafeteria is a lower level or sub-level below ground. And those windows could very easily be kicked in, and you're in the building within just a matter of a few seconds. You're kicking those windows in. Again, some sort of mesh, metal mesh or bars over those would definitely be a big help. Things that we've done, we've reviewed our codes, particularly our code reds with our teachers and our students, and done extensive practice with them as far as you don't open the door for anybody regardless of who they say they are. You don't leave even on the fire drill. I've tripped the fire alarm during our code red to see if anybody would leave. They did not. They've been instructed to stay put. So we go through that, and we continually go through that and practice those procedures. And we try to arrange the scenario a little different every time. I've even asked teachers, I have a few teachers that have closets, water closets, plumbing access closets, to even see how many students they could fit in there and hide. In the event of an emergency, what do you need to do there? And I have code language for assured communication, or code green, to give it all clear. The staff have a precise, they know the saying that I have given them, Mr. Roy knows that, in the event that we need to give it all clear. Instead of just saying code green or all is good, resume normal activity, any crazy man with a gun could say something like that. So we have a specific phrase that we use so they know that it's me. Two-way radios purchased, I went and purchased those for myself. Mr. Roy has one of those, the office, main office, and one of our custodians all have those radios. The state police and deputies are doing walkthroughs in our building, just coming to just walk the premises, look at the building, look at the layout, just to have a presence there. I think that gives a sense of security, both to staff, students, administrators, and I would like to see as many, I welcome as many of those that they can do. I realize that they're busy and have a lot of things going on. I'd like to have additional intercom speakers in our hallways. One of the problems with our PA system in the schools, you cannot hear it in the hallways, in the restrooms, even in the basement, certain areas of the basement, you cannot hear it. Excuse me. And also, I would like to have that hooked to our PA system on the football field. A lot of times during lunch, after the students have finished eating, we let them go out to the field to walk, exercise, and move. So being able to hear that information while they're outside so that they can get to a secure area in the gymnasium is very important as well. And I know, if I could just speak here just for a second, Mrs. Lucas, for the rest of the schools, a lot of the administrators have practiced the exact same things. They went through the codes, they went through the drills, they've practiced, just to give parents a sense of security. I sent out a school messenger myself stating, that the back doors, they're not to be used by parents, that any parent visitor delivery has to come through the front doors. I even went as far as to ask them to not be offended when they're asked why are they there and what the business is, because those are just steps that we're taking to make sure that we're letting the right people in the building.
Your radios, did you not tell us that they are, you can contact the 911?
No, not with ours, that's the high school.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go next now.
I'm working on getting a quote
Yeah.
for radios, even for the county. Very good deal on these radios, very powerful handheld units. I'll share that with Mr. Smith once I get that quote.
Okay.
I think that would be good for all administrators to have that access to be able to contact emergency communications if needed.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And